To our host, thank you so much for having us here today, and Gene for an outstanding job as moderator with this outstanding panel. Very, very appreciative. To my colleagues, thank you so much. Some of the attendees who came shortly after we had started, Representative Warren Camp, Representative Mike Regan, Representative Stan Saylor, and Representative Mike Tobash. And I think I made sure to personally introduce each of our colleagues, outstanding leaders in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Just a few closing remarks, if I might. The downward pressures with respect to natural gas in Pennsylvania have been twofold, I think. First of all, anybody who does not note that OPEC has been driving down gas prices with the intent of making sure that the development of natural gas in the United States, particularly in Pennsylvania, but in the United States overall, and in Russia and in Venezuela, if people do not understand that OPEC understands that implicitly, they do not want to see energy independence in places like the United States of America, because we are dependent on the use of OPEC oil. They get it, they've driven their prices down, and they want to make sure that the conversion to a natural gas as part of our economy will not, in fact, take place. It's one of the reasons why we want to make sure that development of natural gas does take place. Secondarily, the other pressure is the governor's proposals. If you are looking for places where you can invest, and you have a state like Ohio that is open door, welcoming, saying, how can we help you to invest more in our state, not limited to just the gas producers themselves, but to the upstream and then the downstream and the midstream folks in the economy, and you have a place like Pennsylvania that's saying, well, we need two taxes, and we want to actually increase regulations for a third time, the messaging makes you think, is this the place where we ought to be doing business, or should we be taking our business elsewhere? Just on that front, all across Pennsylvania, I run into people with multinational companies, and the people who are located in Pennsylvania are the mid to upper level executives who are implementing policies for their companies that have billions and billions of dollars of capital. Those are the people who are making it work in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, who families live here, have sustaining, family sustaining jobs, and they will tell you they're reporting back X number of factors to the higher levels in their companies that can be investing billions anywhere in the world, not just in the United States, in the world. And they will tell you the factors that will keep people in Pennsylvania, or if they're going to have to pick up and move somewhere else, which they do not want to do. There is no doubt that Pennsylvania can be a great opportunity, and we should take full advantage of that. About 250,000 new jobs have been created since the Marcellus development had started. That's direct and indirect. And I just have to ask the gentleman from UGI before I close, if this fact isn't, if this fact is correct, just when you think about customers. Between 2008 and 2014, UGI was able to pass on significant savings to its consumers, an average of $700 a customer per year, or more than 350 million saved consumers in 2014 compared to 2008. And I think more than 70% of the gas that UGI itself delivers comes from Marcellus. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we're actually at around 90% now. So the more that happens, the more the savings get passed on to our customers.
Wow. And then on improved air quality, the US EPA says releases of toxic air pollutants were down significantly in the mid-Atlantic, and that is in large because 13.8% drop in toxic air pollutants, and that is the use of natural gas and for electricity, which was the point that Representative Bloom was making, I think, so importantly. The other notion is the impact fee, that there's not a tax. Impact fee, impact tax, has brought in what I think on average annually about 220 million annually, and that to date that's around 800 million. And that's not to mention all the business taxes that are being paid. And this is in a nascent industry. It's going to continue to grow, particularly if we focus on usage. And so it's not only from the producers themselves, but from all the direct and indirect. But just in the direct industry itself, it's been close to $2.1 billion already paid in taxes, separate and distinct from the impact fee taxes. Separate and distinct from the impact fee taxes. I think that the focus on how we expand the petrochemical and manufacturing opportunities in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for outstanding family-sustaining jobs and energy independence is right in front of us. And we can take a punitive approach like the governor has put on the table, or we can take a pro-growth approach like many of us here are espousing here today. My closing note is this. We have been, unfortunately, public officials and others have been almost apologetic or about the development of natural gas in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I think that is sadly mistaken, sadly mistaken. We need to be messaging like we are here today and touting the opportunities for Pennsylvania citizens on so many fronts: royalties to landowners, reduced costs to consumers, development of manufacturing and petrochemical in terms of family-sustaining jobs, and again, energy independence. We ought to be focusing on the growth and get out of the discussion of a punitive one that I think the governor has put on the table. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for participating.